For our next celebration of success, I call on Mrs. Danek.
Thank you, President Boswell. I'm going to ask Steph to join me at the podium for a minute, but I have to read this quote from her nominating letter because I find it absolutely engaging about what a librarian does. It says, Steph Kinnaman is a true example of a 21st century librarian. She is a master teacher who weaves information, literacy, digital citizenship, and research skills into highly engaging and well-developed instruction for grades K-5. She leads by example through her teaching of immersive library lessons that provide a solid foundation of literacy and inquiry skills for all students. To me, that's the epitome of what a librarian does. It's teaching you to look beyond what you knew. That goes clear back to when I was in second grade more than 60 years ago and walking in to find the next issue of Little House on the Prairie, which a lot of kids today don't even know what that is. So would you join me at the podium, please? And for those who don't know that librarians have changed their names 100 times, they've been librarians and they've been media service specialists, and we're back to librarians, and thank goodness, because I know where the library is in every building. So this is going to be read in the form of a motion. It is, whereas Stephanie Kinnaman, school librarian at Morley Elementary School, has been awarded the Nebraska School Librarian of the Year by the Nebraska School Librarian Association. And whereas Stephanie Kinnaman successfully facilitates learning and supports student growth through a thoughtfully curated collection of resources that fits their learning needs at Morley Elementary School. And whereas Stephanie Kinnaman weaves information, literacy, digital citizenship, and research skills into highly engaging and well-developed instruction. And whereas Stephanie Kinnaman is widely admired and respected among her peers, both at Lincoln Public Schools and in the state of Nebraska, for her passion and leadership. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Lincoln Board of Education does hereby congratulate Stephanie Kinnaman for being awarded the Nebraska School Librarian of the Year by the Nebraska School Librarians Association. Signed by Lanny Boswell, President of the Board of Education, and Dr. Paul Gossman, Superintendent of Schools. Congratulations.
In front of kids all the time, and it's not a big deal, but it's a big deal when you get up in front of your peers. Thank you, Lincoln Public Schools Board of Education. First, I would like to thank my family who is here with me today. My mom, who surrounded me with books in our home. To my husband, Brad, and children, Alex, Adam, and Liv, who were young when I finished my degree and started my career as a teacher. They know firsthand how hard educators work. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you to NSLA, Chris Hefner, library coaches Joy, Emily, and Betsy. Thank you to all the administrators who have encouraged me along the way, particularly Steph Drake, who encouraged me to be a leader at Morley and gave me many opportunities to grow within the Morley staff, as well as my current administrators, Brandy Henneberg and Lisa Robertson. I appreciate all of them. In the midst of so many talented librarians within LPS and across the state, this award means a lot. I've had the privilege to work with so many who I've learned from along the way. A huge key to my success is collaborating with others, both classroom teachers and librarians. I have to give a special thanks to all of my librarian colleagues and co-workers at both Morley and Saratoga, where I started my career. A special thank you to Heidi Shattuck, a second grade team leader and a library colleague and friend who kind of went with me on the journey to become a librarian. As a young girl, I had a love of reading and books. I had actually attended a small private school in Montana that did not have a library growing up. When I share this with my Morley students, they often seem shocked. Having access to a library at school is so important to select personal reading materials and, hang on just a second, and deepen connections on topics learned in the classroom. The public library was always my favorite place when I was growing up, and I strive to make our school library a welcoming place, not just for students, but for families and the Morley community as a whole. One special thing about being an elementary librarian is getting to see students grow and learn from the age of kindergarten through 5th grade. Watching them start out, learn their letter sounds and tricky words with picture books and moving to more complex chapter books as the years go on. It's also about creating relationships with these students and families, getting to know their likes and interests, and creating a collection of books that will meet their needs. Sharing the excitement with the student who's been checking out every book she can find about hamsters when she finally gets one for a pet. Helping a reluctant reader find a book about a topic that he's excited about to hook him into reading. Validating a student's interest by getting a book about a topic they're interested in or that they have recommended for our library. Taking the time to truly see them is what I strive to do. Growing up, I was a quiet student in class and I didn't seek out a lot of extra attention. But quite often throughout my career, I've reflected back on my 4th grade teacher, Mr. Filing, who took a little bit of time to create a relationship with me, and that meant a lot, and it stuck with me. I am passionate about books and digital citizenship and library skills, and I am passionate about the students, all of the kids at Morley. I want to know all of them, the outgoing ones and the quiet ones. I want to see them. Thank you for seeing the important work I do every day. It means a lot.
Is there a second? Ms. Mumgarden,
I will second that.
any discussion? Seeing none, Laura, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Danick,
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew,
Yes.
Ms. Mumgarde,
Yes.
Dr. Rauner,
Yes.
Mr. Shrivastov,
Yes.
Ms. Byer,
Yes.
Mr. Boswell.
Yes.